everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge Podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Mikey.
What's up? Happy
Happy
2021.
2020. Is it 2021?
Yeah, it feels like the same shit, right? I
30,
love how everyone
35.
was like, oh, it's going to be so great. It's going to be my year. I was like, 21's going to be shit, people. Hate to say it.
That was me when it was 2015, 2016, 2017.
I know.
Um,
Don't go into any expectations. Just fucking live your life.
you
And
shouldn't. I mean,
the year will just pan out the way the year is going to pan out.
with everything that we've been through, you can't expect anything now. I mean, it's just
No.
it's gonna
It's a
throw
shit show.
curveballs. This is how it is at the moment. We
It's a
just gotta
reality show.
you know what?
It's a bad reality show.
Please, Hollywood, do not attempt to make a quarantine like reality show. I can't do it. I mean,
Oh,
what
no.
is it like? Patty Jenkins, the director for Wonder Woman,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so she's coming out with a third one apparently, right? It's in development.
Really?
She wrote the script. Yeah, she wrote the script already apparently, but she's holding back because she wants to apparently incorporate the quarantine possibly and the pandemic into the third
Oh,
one. I'm like,
no.
don't. Please don't do
No.
this.
And speaking of, which ties into, we haven't even said we're doing 12 Monkeys,
12 monkeys.
1995,
Yeah.
by Terry Gilliam. But like, it's so funny that you chose this. It's another Mikey pick that was on my list, but I didn't realize it was on, I think, HBO right now.
HBO Max, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
so I was like, yeah, so I was like, oh, cool. I've seen this movie once a really long time ago, and I didn't remember it that much. And then as soon as I started watching it, I was like, a fucking virus kills like 5 billion people. This is some shit. Like,
right? Well,
literally what we're going through, kind of, in time travel and fucking all sorts of weird shit.
so it's weird, right? So I was walking Boss with a neighbor and his dog, and I was like, these podcasts are really cool for me and for like you and for like certain individuals that want to like keep talking to people because we need to, right?
Yeah.
But watching some of these movies where it's like talking about pandemics and epidemics, you're like, wow, that's a little too close to home. However, I'm going to like finish watching this movie.
Yeah, like what I said about when I was watching The Strain a few months
Right?
ago. I was like, this is too much, because they like quarantine the city, and it was all sorts of talk of viruses, and I was like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This is like too real. But this one is a crazy one, but a crazy good one. My just first thoughts were that, yeah, I've seen it a really long time ago. I definitely saw it for Brad Pitt, I think, when I saw it.
I think everyone saw it for
Because
Brad Pitt.
mostly, although I think that there's some kind of underlying Bruce Willis obsession that you may have, because we did Fifth Element, and I was like, he's not bad. Like, I wouldn't kick him out.
He's really soft on the eyes, and in this movie, you actually get to see his ass twice within the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt's too. So
Yep.
brownie points for this fucking movie. And also, this is the first time that Brad Pitt was nominated for an Oscar and won a Golden Globe.
It was fabulous.
So
he was
so good.
He played an amazing mental institution patient. Like he put he put most of the Girl Interrupted cast like to shame.
Yeah, he was on another level.
Yeah.
But also I wrote too that we'll get into it later, but his speech when you first meet him and he's like showing James around the institution, it's very like Tyler Durden.
Yes.
Like everything that he's talking about, it's all about like anti-consumerism, and like but it's just spoken really fast and like really disjointed, but everything that he says, he essentially says all of this in Fight Club in a way more like controlled way, which I thought was kind of interesting, that his characters are kind of similar, because he ends up working for that like animal rights, like letting out the animals because they're being caged, like, so it has the same kind of vibe.
Yeah,
he has the same kind of character vibe.
No, definitely. And it's funny because even though you said it was my pick, like I feel like it was yours as well because you've been talking about doing it for a while.
Yeah, I have, and I hadn't decided when or what. Yeah. Oh, also newsflash, housekeeping. Mikey is starting a podcast. I don't have sound effects yet, but I would be like, yay!
Doo,
Like it's like at a radio
doo.
station, I would have the little button where you can do like this one really messy YouTube channel that I listen to that about like gossip and shit. He has a button that's like Wendy Williams saying allegedly. So
God.
anytime he
And
like
I have like
talks
two of
shit,
those.
I know anytime he talks shit, he pushes this button and it's like allegedly. It's like Wendy Williams saying
That's
allegedly.
awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for giving me that shout out.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much from you. So you've been like very vocal about helping me like on the phone, through the computer.
Yeah, and I know nothing. This is all shit I know from the last what, almost a year now.
You know a lot.
So
You know a lot better, especially with just technology in general than I do.
I have a very I have a very select group of friends that's not like you guys aren't like the developers. Like you're not like computer people. Like I don't have friends who work in tech, you know what I mean? So everyone has like just the knowledge that they need to do basic things on the computer, not like, oh shit, I don't know that much, but I mean, I don't know how to like make a website. Like I'm not like that.
I
I
still
probably
don't
should.
even know how to make a
I
website.
think we all probably should. I feel like I need to take like basic web classes because it's like what
Hmm.
the future is going to be. It's going to be like, can you code or not?
Oh,
Like
totally.
that's kind of what's going to be. So yeah. So tell everyone the name of your podcast.
So the name of my podcast is Chips with a Z in Dish, like N, comma Dish. It's also a movie podcast as well. I might delve
Yeah.
into some TV series if they're like short TV series, like 6 episodes long. So like
Yeah.
say like Marvel is going to be the bulk of my podcast because I'm
Cool.
such a nerd like that, and you along with other friends are like that as well in different areas.
Yeah.
But say like so like WandaVision is the next Marvel project that's coming out on Disney Plus, and that's January 15th, I believe. That's only
Well,
like
that's
a well, now it's an extended, I heard yesterday, to 9 episodes. But
oh.
in my mind, that's still short. So like we could watch that whole episode, we could watch that whole season and talk about that.
Are you gonna
Or
do it episode by episode, or are you gonna do it like one episode on
eh,
the whole story?
I don't know. It depends because some of the shows or that I'm hearing are 45 minutes long or 30. So I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, if someone like say you or Charles or somebody wants to do just one episode, sure.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I want to wait until like the whole thing because for an hour we could just talk about we could cram in all those episodes if that.
Yeah, just make highlights of the general story.
Yeah, and I think people would
Cool.
get it. You know what I mean? Um,
Oh yeah, for sure. It's easier to do it when it's not episode, unless you want like a really in depth. But there's probably big ones that are gonna do like in depth every little fucking thing
well, so
of
like
each episode.
yeah, and so like you were talking about with like Buffy, right? Like
Yeah,
you and
I'd
I,
love
or
to do
you and I
Buffy.
and Charles could do like all of that because there's so much more meat. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, we would definitely do it episode by episode. Like
And
so much happens.
and I think that would be more appropriate doing those episode by episode than like say
Yeah,
like short mini series.
that's true. Yeah, same with like Shield. Like
Yeah,
Shield is like a big story that's like things change each episode.
and but
Crazy.
and different season pretty much. Every season is a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit different.
totally.
Yeah, like they have the monster of the season instead of monster of the week.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
You know,
So yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna be recording the first Captain America film later this week. So
America's ass.
oh my god, yeah. Fucking Endgame. I watched Endgame the other day, but yeah, to digress, if you're interested, I'm gonna put a link in the show notes so people can
Thank you
find.
so much. That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
So let's get into oh wait, what else were you gonna say?
oh no no no, let's get into 12 Monkeys,
Let's get into
please.
12
Yeah,
Monkeys.
yeah.
So what are your first thoughts? What are your like when have you seen this? Have you seen it a bunch?
So it was weird. So I was, if I was doing my math correctly, because I'm not a mathematician,
I am not the accountant.
I believe I was 12 at the time of release. But however, saying that, interestingly enough and oddly enough, I remember going to the theater seeing this.
Really?
Yeah, so my dad took me, or I want to say I
Wow.
saw it with him. So I'm not sure exactly where, but
Wow.
um, which is kind of messed up though, that now that you think about it, or now that I think about it, because slowly it's introducing children to paranoia.
I know.
Oh,
And like maybe they're like traveling through time and they think things are
yeah,
happening.
right. So this is my first time really seeing it as an adult, and and like I said, I know that you've been wanting to cover it. I've been wanting to kind of cover it, but I'm confused, right? And
Hmm.
maybe you can shed some light on this. Like, I freshly saw this
Let's say.
yesterday, um, but it was hard to follow. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I think that it's unexplained. Like, first of all, like Willis is asked by like these quote unquote doctors, right, to go back in
Hmm.
time to stop this virus. Well,
Hmm.
it started what in 1990, but it actually like wiped out most of everything in 96, right? So he lands
I
in
think no,
96.
it started in 96 is when this all started. He just went back to 90.
Oh, to
He went back
1990.
too early.
That's
Like he
right.
was supposed to go back to 96, but they ended up sending him to 90 and he was like, "Fuck, none of this shit's happened." Like all this shit that because it's 6 years. Like when he made the phone call
Yeah.
and it was like some woman and he was like, "Fuck, the phone doesn't work because it's like 6 years, like this hasn't happened yet." So like that person's on this address. So he was kind of like, "Oh,
So,
fuck."
so then why are these doctors like asking him? Shouldn't like the government be asking him to do this? And then why?
Well, the thing is, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, the thing is that I'm guessing because this movie it kind of doesn't I've only watched it one other time before this one
Hmm.
and I it's just I feel like it's one of those films almost in the version of like a Fight Club. Like some things are not it's just not black and white. It's
Hmm.
just not like easily explained and I think some things we're kind of not supposed to know. I guess.
So it's like a
But
purposeful thing that you're
I
just supposed
think
to.
so. The thing is that when you start in, it doesn't say what year he is in the future, or does it? And I just missed
It's
it.
2035.
Oh shit, that's not even that long from now.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's in prison, and remember, like one of his things that he has to do was volunteer. Remember, he had to put that suit on and like go out and like check out the landscape.
Like
But then when he
three different
came,
layers.
yeah, well, yeah, and then when he came back in, they were like, "You will get a pardon and get out of this jail if you do this time travel shit." And he was like, okay. And they were like, they hold that over his head that you'll get a pardon, like a
Mm,
full pardon if you go get this information
mhm.
that he doesn't even really know. But they're like, the way that they're like, when they first sent him back and he went to 90, and then it was weird. It's so, I really love how he comes out of it, like in different places. I think it's so cool
Yeah,
how
like
he
the
just
first
kind of like
one.
parts out of it.
Yeah, like he just like what is it? He's in a different jail cell when he first appears, right? And he's like all like
Hmm.
drooling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he like leaps into a mud pile at some point and then
Yeah, he's in like
disappears.
the
And then
trenches. Yeah,
yeah.
he's like in the trenches of World War One. And yeah, it's like all these people are like moving through time, like that Jose guy who he like sees in the
Oh,
what
that not John.
hospital?
I want to say John Cena, but it's not
John
obviously
Seda.
Seda. Thank
Seda.
you.
Yeah, Seda, close. Yeah, definitely not John Cena.
No.
Definitely not Rock wannabe. He's definitely like a Rock wannabe.
And it was funny because I was
Um,
looking him up as an actor because
John Seda?
John Seda, and I've seen him before,
Yeah.
but all that's like recent is like Chicago Fire, which I've never seen.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say he's on one of those Chicago shows.
But like,
My mom, I think, only knew that because she knew when Lady Gaga was getting married to some guy because she watches that show and he was on that show. That guy that
oh
Lady Gaga was engaged to,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was on that Fire show, and so was this Saint Sita guy.
Oh, gotcha.
Remember I was calling her one time from California and she was like, "Oh, I can't believe Gaga's getting married to the guy from that Fire show," because everybody watched it, but I didn't. And I was like, I don't know who that guy is. I saw a picture of him, but I didn't know who he was.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But she never married him.
And then
Pretty fucked up.
what's her name? The doctor, Madeline Stowe is the
Dude, what is
actress's
she
name.
in?
I looked her up, like she's in The Last of the Mohicans, which is like way back when. And then recently a TV show called Soundtrack. I have no
What's
idea.
that?
But
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
yeah. And kind of like John Seta, I've seen her in different things, but when I Googled her, I was like, I don't remember any of this stuff.
Yeah, she's a familiar face, but
Yeah.
but like I definitely, I looked her up too, and I was like, I don't know any of this,
And
but
it's it,
she's
and
a familiar
it's
face.
so funny, and by all means, like everybody, we've said it before, not professional at all.
God, no,
But I
like
mean, like
totally.
obviously everyone knows Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, and Christopher Plummer. So
Yeah, and Christopher Maloney. Shout out to the Law and Order SVU hive. He's Detective Stabler, and also he's in a bunch of shit. But I love Christopher Maloney. He's an
which one
Oz.
was he?
He is the detective in Philly that's questioning the girl.
Oh, gotcha.
He's in Wet Hot American Summer, which I also really want to do. That one
Oh,
about the summer camp.
God, I want to start that from the beginning because I think
Oh, the fucking show is so funny. The
what
one that Bradley Cooper's
was
in.
there 2 seasons or 3?
Yeah, there were two. Well, there were two. The first one they did was the first day of camp. So like
Right.
all 8 episodes are like all the same day. It's just like
Mhm.
all this crazy shit that happens. But then they had one later that was like a 10-year reunion where it was like 1991 and they came back. But Bradley Cooper wasn't in that. I didn't watch it because people said it wasn't as good. They added a bunch of new people. Like
Maybe
not I think a lot of people didn't come back.
I think I started it, but just didn't finish it.
Yeah, like Alyssa Milano was in there and she wasn't in the original one. I was like, don't add people. Like
Interesting.
they already have it already has a great cast. I like Alyssa Milano, but she wasn't in the original movie or other show. So like why are we adding someone that we're just creating? So
Oh yeah, true. But
but
yeah,
such a
no,
funny movie though.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, some of the one-liners are just like
So
hilarious.
stupid. When they take acid and like run into the town and they all are like fucking Paul Rudd is so good in that and Janine Garofalo. Like it's just so good. Well, we did Romeo and Michelle
Oh my
just
God, it was
recently.
so
And
good.
we were talking about
Oh,
Janine Garofalo, and I was like, "Oh my god, she got the hottest guy. She got like Justin Theroux, the cowboy. Like, she totally made out in that movie."
that I love that movie, and I hate that movie at the same time because, and I think I posted on your Facebook page the other day, when I first saw that movie, I started eating raw cookie dough just like
Oh yeah,
in, yeah, one of them. I can't remember which one was
I
eating
think it was
them.
Romy.
Yeah,
I
when
think
they
it
were
was
watching the
Romy.
TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
It's
like,
so
shit.
funny. So funny. I was gonna say that. Okay, I already mentioned that. It's Brad Pitt's first like award nomination. Big deal for him. I love the camera work throughout this. This is the same director who also did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So
That's
he's
right.
known for these like really weird, like he used a lot of really weird camera like angles and lenses and things like that. But he always has it on a tilt, which I think is cool. Like the camera's on a tilt for most of the film,
Yeah,
which I
I like
think just
that.
adds for it. Yeah, it's really cool. And the sets are like fucking so cool. Like Terry Gilliam also did the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, the
I've
film that Heath
never.
Ledger was working on. Oh, the one he was working on when he passed away. It's really good. The one that like other actors came in and stepped in for him, but that film's really cool. It's you'd like it. I think you'd like it a lot. It's really fucking weird. I mean,
Yeah,
like
like
most of his
I've
films
seen
are.
I've seen the trailer a bunch of times, and obviously I love Heath Ledger, and so sad that
Oh,
he's
it's
not with us
great.
anymore. But yeah, and
Yeah, it's really good.
this was actually inspired by a short film called, am I pronouncing this right? La Jetée?
Yeah, I think so. It's French. Yeah.
Um,
I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But yeah,
which
sounds
is
like it.
kind of cool. I kind of want to like find it somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be interested to see it.
Um, but this is actually and I was going to tell you this later, but this is actually a TV series that came out a couple years ago on the Sci-Fi Network.
Uh-huh.
It has 4 seasons.
Oh, so is it done now?
Yeah, completely done.
Is
Which
it
I'm
good?
very. I haven't seen it, but I heard
Oh,
different
cool.
things about it, and then the role of or Brad Pitt's character's name, I can't remember something Game.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jeffrey
Gaines.
Gaines.
He's actually they did a female instead for the character. For the
Oh, okay.
So I'm curious because if it's 4 seasons and you're telling the exact same story, how do you drag it out?
Yeah,
You
how
know,
do they
so,
drag it out?
but the years are the timelines are different, so it's like more modern technology instead of older.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I don't know what that entails. Like, I don't know if it's like iPhones or something, you know.
Oh, cool.
Um, but
Neat.
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, with that was my first impression. It was just like a bunch of holes, but you know, like
It is weird.
sometimes it's like purpose, and I was just like, why is he special? Like, and then what was it in the first scene or in the first couple scenes where he ends up in that other jail, like when he's drilling and stuff, like I said, and they were like, well, you got in an altercation with 2 cops. Like, where did that go?
Yeah, I know. And why? And what
Right.
happened?
Right.
And how the hell is he still walking around when he was like shot up with all these drugs?
I liked when he was like, "Yeah, they forced me to take drugs." They're like, who forces anyone to take drugs?"
I know. It's so
But yeah,
funny.
and then I was like, "Well, was this a fabricated thing because the audience didn't see this fight?" I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think we don't really know exactly like what. I think it's one of those films that like it's like kind of sort of don't dissect it, like just watch it
Yeah.
and just kind of go like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure there's some like big story that's going to come together at the end.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Like it's I remember when there was the whole scene when you first meet Brad Pitt and he's like really crazy in the hospital and stuff, and then I was like, damn, I hope this isn't it. Like I hope this isn't like his like almost like a Silence of the Lambs. Like he only has like 12 minutes on screen. He doesn't have that much time on screen. Like Bruce Willis has a lot.
Hmm.
He's constantly and the woman too, the doctor. Like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
constantly on screen. And Brad Pitt, I'm like, when's he coming back? Like he was so great. And I just was like, for the middle chunk of the film, I was kind of like, okay, like I want Brad Pitt more in this story.
Yeah. No, 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 totally.
Yeah,
And
it's gotten a little too much, like a road trip. Now we're going like you need a thing for your bullet wound. You need to get gas. You need to. I was like, all right, this is turning into like a really boring Thelma and Louise, and like nothing's happening along the
it,
way.
no lie. I mean, honestly, it was a little bit boring. It's definitely interesting on the
It
interesting
is
side, right?
interesting, yeah.
And then was it me? Is it just me or like is she a psychiatrist, a therapist, whatever? The girl?
She's a psychiatrist.
But she just got like more and more crazy too.
Yeah, she did. But wasn't she like? Why did she all of a sudden like choose to believe him? Like, it's because of that pipe thing. That
Mhm.
boy was like a prank, and she was just like, "How'd you know that?" And he's like, "I don't know. Maybe I saw it like on a TV show as a kid." And then she's just like, "No, I believe him now." I was like, "Isn't? I mean, are you from the future? Who are you? Like, are you one of the scientists?" I mean, I'm like, okay, but yeah, it was definitely very confusing, but it's almost like I don't want to put it in the same echelon as Fight Club because it's not like a movie like that to me. I mean, I'm sure it probably can be, but it was definitely one of those things that like you need to watch multiple times to really like all right, so I've seen it once this time to review it, but if I'm really interested, I have to go back and like, all right, let me see if I can break down this timeline because
Right.
I want to understand, much like what's happening, which we'll get to in Mikey's podcast on the Marvel timeline, because it's a hot ass mess.
It is a hot ass mess, and I am all for it.
We're all for trying to like dissect it. I'm trying to like start from the beginning and pretend like I know nothing and just be like, all right, this is the order that the story goes in. All right, I'm watching one first and I'm see like what did they introduce in this that didn't go into the next one or that had nothing to do because they film them all out of order and they like put them
Mhm.
together, but you could tell like some was written to fill a gap and here and there. So that'll be really interesting. I'm excited to do that.
Oh, I'm super stoked. And I mean they go in and out of like past references and then
Yeah, and then it's like nothing is really permanent because you have a time stone, so you can just change everything.
exactly.
Like, so it's like, okay, oh, wait, so we'll get to that, not to digress on
We
that.
will totally get to it.
We'll totally get to all about it. So, yeah, I'm
But
excited.
do you have any production notes or behind the scenes?
Yeah, I just have 2 points.
Yeah.
Usually what I write down. The budget for this film was 29.5 million. It was done by Universal, so that was like a pretty healthy budget too, because I think they bought the rights of
Yeah,
this film.
there was some kind of controversy, but I couldn't really get it down.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really understand, but there was some kind of reason, like I guess maybe they got the rights like kind of reluctantly, but they
Mhm.
wanted to make this movie. And then thank God it made fucking 168.8 million.
Crazy, right?
So yeah, it's a lot. And the other note I have, it was filmed from between February and May of 95 in Baltimore and Philly.
Actually, yeah,
That's where the
that was
story
one of the
takes
notes
place.
I have.
Yeah, that's all I have, as I didn't do as many.
Okay. I mean,
What are your behind the scenes notes?
and like I said, in no particular order. It was said that Nick Nolte was originally the first choice to cast as James Cole, who is
Oh,
played by Bruce Willis, and then Jeff Bridges for the role of Goins. Isn't
Jeff Bridges?
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Jeff Bridges Jim Carrey's friend in Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumberer?
That's Jeff Daniels.
Oh, never mind. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was gonna say hell to the.
Isn't Jeff Bridges the one in Big Lebowski?
Oh, that's him. Okay,
I think that's Jeff
I got
Bridges.
the
We have to
two
do the Big
wrong.
Lebowski too.
I haven't seen that in forever. I think
Me either.
Sense of Theater, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since like definitely like the early 2000s sometime, but it's a
But
classic
yeah,
90s film.
oh,
Yeah.
totally. But big hands up to Brad Pitt. He was like fucking amazing.
So good.
And he mentioned that he actually spent time at a mental institution for like weeks,
You can tell.
visiting and studying the inhabitants to prepare his role. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was amazing. I don't know if you want to call that method acting or just research, but I love to hear about how characters go in such depth,
Yeah.
to like really study their roles. Like when I was recording for my first episode, Requiem for a Dream, which is like pretty
Mhm.
deep, right? For like a first
Mhm.
episode.
It is. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty deep, but okay.
Yeah, it was so random. But I mean, every character, especially Ellen, she was just like, I'm all in it and I'm gonna do this. And so I love hearing about all
She's
that stuff.
so good.
Yeah.
She's good. They're all good. Jennifer Connelly was great.
Mhm.
It's so upsetting though, like the end of that movie, like what
When
happens
they're
to
all like
all of them,
when they
but
all like cradle into the baby position or whatever you call it.
yeah, like the fetal position.
Fetal position,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Oh,
for this movie, filming took place. Oh, you already said that.
oh yeah. That's not that much time. February to May.
No, and
How'd
then
they build those fucking sets? Those sets must have taken like over a year to build.
well, I mean, so they weren't because of budgeting. It was stated that they weren't afford the luxury of studios, so they actually had to like go
Oh,
to like abandoned warehouses and parks
that's dope
and stuff
though.
like
That
that.
like
That is
makes
really
it.
dope. I do love that. But
Yeah.
because they couldn't film in BWI, they filmed the outside for BWI, but the inside was actually like some Constitution Hall in Philly or something like that.
Oh, weird.
So that was kind of interesting. But
Okay.
what was I gonna say? I just have a couple more. I know it's what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. So I found this profound and scary at the same time. Um,
What?
Guillaume said that this movie is to depict the study of people's declining ability to communicate in modern civilization due to the interference of technology, which
Oh,
I was like, that's kind of like us right now.
it totally is.
But I found that really interesting at the same time, like kind of poetic and very
Yeah.
scary. Um,
Super scary. That's
right.
how it is now. People live because of what news they follow, what opinions they follow, whatever. People live in like alternate realities. Like we don't have a common shared like medium anymore. It's like you feel that way and you feel that way. I can't change your mind. And same with me. You can't change my mind. So it's like we're kind of and technology, aka like every fucking evil corporation on the planet, has contributed to that. Yeah, so
Well,
it's true.
and I was talking to Justin earlier about it, where because dealing with what we are all dealing with right now, we try to like occupy ourselves, and it's so easy to like turn on some kind of to the TV to the radio. I mean, we do have like some kind of cool technologies like what we're using, Squadcast, Zoom, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
definitely.
it's not the same as in person interactions, but it's still challenges us to still be us, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Not
with
just
these
losing
barriers.
ourselves over TV. Yeah.
Yeah, within these like weird pandemic times.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I mean, human beings adapt just like animals, like they adapt to whatever happens and whatever they need to adapt to. So this is just
Mhm.
another level and you figure out ways to like get by. Like and just to like calm yourself. Like if it's stressful looking for jobs or going to work and everything like that. So it's cool that there's either something you can give people like, hey, if you want to escape for a minute, like listen to us talk about these movies or find a movie that you are like, oh shit, I want to see that, and so that's cool. Also, give us 5 stars on iTunes and write us some reviews.
Please.
Yeah, they're really
We
fun.
love researching this stuff for you, and hopefully you
Yeah,
like
it's so
to hear
fun.
about this. Yeah. It'll be very
Yeah.
interesting though to see how like everyone reacts after like everyone takes this vaccine.
I
or
know, or whoever does and doesn't.
whoever does. Right, exactly.
Whenever, but they're not, it's not going to be for like another. I'd say people in our age bracket, like the elder millennial folks. If you're not a frontline worker, or you're not a doctor or anything like that,
Push to the
then
back of the bus.
yeah, well, what like summer?
Maybe summer. Well,
That's
that's the
a
last thing that
fair.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, summer. But see, by then, it's like, I would hope that, but now there's another fucking strain that's like even more contagious that they found in what, England and then somewhere else. I was like, this is
Oh,
a fucking
I'll
movie.
get back
Like,
to your house now.
yeah, like if you don't need to be out, like, don't be out,
Oh, when
Like,
seriously though, when this is all over and this is gonna be the gayest thing ever, but
uh,
I will get a Glinda pink outfit and I will be like, come out, where have
oh yeah,
you?"
with the people in their houses, like a little munchkins.
Yeah, but oh my God, yeah,
It's
but
gonna be like, I just have to say that, I mean, I don't know like other like functions and things, but any kind of big gathering when post pandemic is gonna be a shit show.
oh yeah, totally.
Like Pride Parade, Coachella, like any of these big places where like lots of people gather, like minded people gather, it's gonna be fucking
Oh,
insane.
what's that one thing, that fire thing that people do?
The Fire Festival.
Is it the Fire Festival? I
No, that's the one that didn't work out. The one that they
Oh,
planned to
Burning
do in
Man. Never
Bahamas.
mind.
Oh, Burning Man. Yeah, yeah. It's like fire didn't even
Fire
happen.
thing.
Fire festival didn't even happen. Like it was all a scam.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so funny though.
Oh
Like
my
it's
God.
so funny. All these people paid like 20 grand and had nothing.
I had
Like
nothing but
they
like
just robbed them
sandwiches
blind.
and shit. Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, oh my God. I think he's in jail still. The dude who started it, but I don't know. He's probably gonna get out and pull some other bullshit.
Wasn't I thought a celebrity started it, no?
No, he got a celebrity attached,
Oh,
but
that's
this
right.
one guy was like the mastermind. Yeah, Ja Rule was
Yeah,
like attached to it. But this one guy, like, he's the one who masterminded, like, stole the money and like did whatever he did. Yeah.
God.
It was fucking crazy. Do you have any more behind the scenes?
No, the only thing that left that I was gonna say was that this movie actually did have a laser disc.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Shit.
it's weird because I didn't realize how old Laserdisc were. So the VHS came out in 97 and so did a Laserdisc.
You mean 87?
1997, sorry.
No, wait, VHS came out way before
Oh no, sorry.
97.
But it said, oh, that's weird. Yeah, never mind.
Because they had CDs in like the 80s, right?
Yeah, never mind.
Like late 80s or early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Laserdisc may be early. Let me see. That might be 97. That sounds about the
That's
time.
what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. Why? It's just like, who decided to have a Laserdisc?
Like I keep telling you, like the only person I knew that had a Laserdisc was my dad.
Yeah. Like, let me see. They stopped production in 2000. Oh, with Bringing Out the Dead. Oh, and the very first Laserdisc was 1978 with Jaws.
No way.
That was the very first one, but nobody had it. Like, I think it probably for like studios probably had it. And then it says in 1963 is when it was invented, patented in 1970, and 1990. I think it was in the 90s.
Mm.
They were like trying to make it happen, but it wasn't gonna happen. 1984, first consumer player with a solid Laserdisc thing.
That's cool.
That's so funny. And okay, Pioneer stopped producing Laserdisc players in January of 2009.
I wonder how much they are now. I wonder
No, they're probably not that much.
I mean,
Yeah, check eBay.
not that I'd really want them. I mean, they are bulky. I mean, they're record size, so it's.
Yeah, they're massive. If they get scratched, like the thing is, I think the photo or like picture quality is better on a Blu-ray anyway. Like
Yeah.
it's not even like the quality is not even going to be as good as like HD because we have like such good quality now.
Oh, even watching it on HBO Max, it was still like its original format ish.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's still like so much better than watching it on like fucking TV. Okay,
That's
so
all
let's
I
get into fashion. Let's get into fashion.
I don't have.
I like a lot of the fashion in here.
It's interesting. I don't have a lot. Unless you want
Good.
to.
I have some interesting.
Unless you want to go first. Go first. Yeah.
Okay. My first note is I love the exploration suit. that he Cole goes in when he goes to like look at the world and see this post-virus world where it's kind of
Oh,
like
where it's like
now when we have to
3
mask
layers or
up.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And then I love how on the PA they're like, if your suit is torn, you cannot have re-entry.
Right.
Like so I was like, and then when he was walking around and he had those boots on, you saw his feet. I was like, there's no way this shit is not getting torn.
Right.
All this bullshit out here, like there's no way.
Mhm.
I like that. I said I also really love that at the hospital, Cole is wearing those jelly shoes, those jelly sandals that like all the girls wore in the 90s.
Oh,
They're white, which I thought was really weird and funny. In Jeff's outfit, I love that brown 70s style velour shirt over the hospital outfit.
was it a shirt or a jacket?
I think it was a pullover, like a between a pullover and like a lounge jacket, but it didn't have a zipper. It was a pullover. And I
Oh,
had like a
okay. So
V-neck.
that was one of my notes that I really liked.
Yeah, it was cool. And didn't he have like loafers on?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like almost like old Gucci loafers on. Like
Yes.
they weren't like hospital shoes. I love the glasses that the scientists wear when they were like peering over him. They all had these like super crazy like Lady Gaga fucking sci-fi weird glasses on. The
Mhm.
ones that have like those magnifying things that flip.
Mhm.
Who else has them on like that? There's like some other weird movie where they have those like weird. Also in American Horror Story, like
Oh,
James
American
March, he has
Mhm.
those, like that weird thing. I wrote for Rayleigh. I'll just do all my fashion notes and then you can do all of
Yeah,
yours.
no, please. Yeah.
For Rayleigh, the doctor, I wrote she's like a modern version of Clarice in Silence of the
She
Lambs.
really is.
It's like still plain, still kind of minimalist, but then I like that when she changes into her disguise outfit, she has like a red, like that red dress on,
Mhm.
which I think is really
That was
cool.
cute. I liked it.
I really like the pimp's outfit that bust into that room when they thought she was a prostitute. It was like a Crocodile Dundee mixed with like a gypsy military guy.
True. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. And then I love the disguise outfit. Like Bruce Willis is like a 70s porn star in that like polyester shirt and like handlebar mustache.
Excuse me.
I was kind of into it. He had like tigers on his shirt. I was like, he looks kind of hot. I'm not gonna
Where he
lie.
kept like having to like try to attach his mustache with
Yeah. I was like, I like this. This feels very Natural Born Killers.
a little bit.
Like their outfits just feel really like weird and crazy. Yeah, just kind of crazy. Also like Fear and Loathing, which he does 2 years later, the director. Feels very much like Johnny Depp's wardrobe in that.
I haven't seen that in a while too. I would like
Yeah,
to
you
see
should
that
watch
again.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, what are your notes?
I don't really have too much, although 3 articles of clothing stood out for me. Okay,
Ooh, okay.
2 articles of clothing and 2 outfits.
Oh, okay.
Riley's black. Is it Riley or Riley? Riley?
Riley? Yeah, I don't
Black,
know.
her black high heels in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They're like short but really cute.
Yeah, they are cool.
In one scene, I believe it's the middle, someplace where she and Cole are talking in that like seamlessly like seedy hotel.
So cool. I love seedy hotels. I love the interiors. I love
That's
them.
so funny.
I love them.
I think it was that scene where she was wearing that big mustardy brown chunky sweater. Was it
Oh,
that?
yeah. I think so. I think she was in that
But I
hotel.
love that sweater. It kind of reminded me of like one of your sweaters that you wore a long time ago.
I
It
was
was
gonna say
really, really cute.
I love like chunky sweaters.
Um, I could never get away with it, but I loved it.
Oh, you could.
Brad's outfit, like you said, in the hospital. And then I guess it's toward the end where he's wearing that weird stocking cap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could look good in a towel. I mean,
Who, Brad Pitt?
yes.
Yes. Even when he has that, when all of them are doing that weird stunt, he has that weird jacket on and like a bunch of shit when they're in that bus, and he looks insane but so hot.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
And just,
No
I
pun
mean,
intended.
I love it. I mean, this is not a fashion note, but this is just like his mannerisms are just
So good.
so beyond. Yeah.
Yeah, like he has. I mean, I don't even know what he's supposed to be diagnosed with, but he has like
It's
this
never
kind
said, is
of
it?
no, like I don't know if he's supposed to be like schizophrenic. He has elements of like Tourette's a little bit too, like with his like jerking kind of tics that he does too. But it's really interesting, and but it's weird because his what he says makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's presented in a really kind of like nonsensical way, if you listen to it and actually see what he says and like look things up, like there, you're like, okay, this is not entirely false. It's just the way that it's coming off. He's talking in a very like manic way,
Yeah.
but that's, but he's such a great actor. I think from day one, I mean, there is a really good, you should watch this actually, because it's like a really cheesy horror film. It's called Cutting Class. It's his very first movie, like ever.
Oh yeah.
It's in the 80s. Yeah, I think it's still on Showtime. It's literally like the cheesiest of D horror films, but it's like weird that it's him. It's so weird that he's in it and he's like, he plays this kind of like jock kind of dude, but it's really funny. It was before Thelma and Louise, and then thank God they got him for Thelma and Louise.
Was that the second one, or was that Legend?
That was probably he might have had another one in between that. He was in, have you ever seen like is it Johnny Suede? He's in Johnny Suede. Isn't he in Cool World? Have you seen Cool World?
I haven't.
Oh fuck, we should do Cool World. That's
okay.
So
It's so funny. I randomly have that. But
yeah, it's so good and so weird. Like it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like that like half animation. Like, yeah, I think it's Johnny Suede that he's in. I urge anyone to, if you really like Brad Pitt, which I'm sure a lot of people enjoy his films, his early work is really cool. Like the stuff before it was like, blockbusters, but I believe it's Johnny Suede. Let me look it up. And Cool World we should do. Yeah,
I love Cool World. It was
it's really weird.
Very cool. I can't remember, where's that. Oh, have you ever seen speaking of like cartoon in real life, Monkey Bone with Brendan Fraser? It's very Cool World-esque. It has Whoopi Goldberg is in it as like this like pirate death something or other. I don't know. This is really fun.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Johnny Suede came out in 91. He was not known then. It's on Pluto apparently for free right now. So. Yeah, it's like one of those streaming things where like it's free, but there's just apps. Well, yeah,
too many streaming services.
No, I know, but at least they have it's good to like look for all of them when you see movies like that. Now, before they used to only have like Netflix and Hulu and like that was it, but now it's like they have all these other free ones like Crackle and Tubi and Pluto. Like they're free, you have to sit through ads, but you can still watch some movies that aren't on those other places. So it's pretty cool.
That's
like
cool.
The movies will rotate recently?
Around. Oh, over Christmas we watched something on Tubi.
Tubi?
Oh my God, Mistletoe and Menorahs.
Oh, okay. What is that? Like
it was so cute. It's very Hallmarky. Yeah, very holiday. But like this one girl, she works for a company. I can't remember what kind of. Dealing with like toys, and to seal this one deal, to merge with this other guy's toy company, she has to go to his holiday party, which turns out to be a Jewish party, which she knows nothing about being Jewish. She's all like Christmas and everything. So her assistant hooks her up with one of her friends who is Jewish and teaches her about like all the holiday traditions.
Oh, that's cool.
Seal this deal. It's kind of cute, and then they end up falling in love. And like I said, it's very Hallmarky, but it's very cute. Very cute.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Oh, cool. Oh wait, so what's your other piece of clothing that stood out? Did you say the first one?
No, that was it. That was it was in the track. Well, I called it a tracksuit until you told me it was like a shirt or something.
That brown thing.
Yeah, that was it.
The brown shirt. Yeah. Any outfits?
The
full outfits.
Full outfit. Oh, like I said, I mean, the full outfit was like just the mental institution.
Oh yeah, with the robe
thing. That was Oh no! Really actually, thinking about it, when you see the scientists, they're all like sitting down and everything. Is it like their coats are plastic, or are they covered in plastic?
Oh yeah, no, they're like
like rubber.
They're
not rubber.
Yeah, no, they're like the same thing that those like like PVC, like vinyl, but they're like clear.
They're really.
I think they're clear vinyl.
Those are kind of cool.
Yeah, they are super cool. Yeah, they are really cool. They're super weird.
But yeah, other than I mean, just for me, fashion-wise, there wasn't a hell of a lot.
No, but it's cool.
But it's still cool, yeah.
Yeah, like what they managed to put together for like all those weird outfits. Like I'm just like, how do they design that? It's really nuts. I'm trying to find out who the costume designer is. Oh, Julie Weiss is a costume designer, and also got an Oscar nomination for this film.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's
She
cool.
also did Frida and American Beauty,
Oh, I
among some
love
other
Frida.
costume. I know. I also
Frida-
love American Beauty.
American Beauty, yeah.
Yeah. And she did Masters of the Universe.
Like the movie, like with Dolph
In the
Lundgren.
80s. Yeah, in
Yeah.
like 87. Yeah, she's done a lot.
That's
She's done a lot of like random films too. Like, wow, fuck. She's done 78 films, so go check her
oh
out.
wow, holy crap.
Yeah, she's done some cool shit. Oh my god, she did The Ring, like the first Ring.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's cool.
That's what another thing that Justin was watching over
Oh fucking shit, man.
Christmas was like he started from the beginning. The Lord of the Rings
Wow.
series, yeah.
Oh,
I don't-
Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about The Ring.
Oh,
Like
you're talking about
the
like Samora Ring. Oh, the horror movie. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, the horror movie.
My
Yeah.
bad.
I was like, he started them. I was like, aren't there's what, like 2 or 3 of those?
There's 4.
4? Fuck.
Yeah.
They stopped making them though. Now it's like Paranormal Activity. They have like 8 of those.
Yeah, no, hopefully there's no more.
Annabelle or whatever. Aren't there like 2 of those?
3.
That 3?
3 of those,
Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just making it. They don't do Saw anymore, right?
Thank God. No, but before
Possible.
before the pandemic happened, they were making a spin-off, for lack of a better term, called Spiral,
Oh,
and that was going to
okay.
have Jamie Foxx, I believe.
Oh no.
Well, in the
No.
yeah. The
I
trailer
only
looked
want
a
to see
little weird.
Scream 5. That's the
Oh
only
my
one
God,
I'm
I can't
interested
wait.
in. I know, it's only what I'm interested in is I hope that they
I hope they
fucking
put
do it
that
up.
on HBO Max.
Oh, they should.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to be smart and they want to get it out, they should.
Well, because like Wonder Woman, like they put in select theaters that were still open.
Yeah, so you could do both.
And then they put it on HBO Max for only 30 days.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they keep saying like, you know, coming like watch it now, limited time or whatever.
Yeah. So if they do that with Scream, shit, that'd be
You
awesome.
could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do that. Okay. So for music, I didn't have any notes. I did like that instrumental that you kind of hear throughout.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really cool. But there are obviously no like bands. Like it's not like a music kind of film.
Not really. I mean, the only song that came to my mind was "What a Wonderful World," because not only is it
that's right. Yeah.
not only is it in the end credits, but it's also like somewhere in the middle of the movie.
That's when he plays it. She plays it, right? When she plays the radio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot there's some music. That's right. He's like, oh, I love music of the 20th century.
I love how he just like puts his head out like a dog, like from the car.
I know.
He's like, yeah.
So funny. Okay, so what are some of your favorite scenes and or quotes? What's your first one?
I've got 4 quotes.
Ooh, 4 quotes. Ooh, what are your quotes? I didn't have any quotes written down.
Well, so I'll tell you that so any mental institution scenes I love. Like they're just like so much more dramatic, I think, than the rest of the movie.
Totally.
But I like in the beginning when James tells Jeffrey about the human race possibly getting what they deserve, and he's like, maybe the human race deserves to be wiped out, and Jeff is like, wipe out the human race? That's a great idea. But more of a long-term thing. I mean, first we have to focus on more immediate goals.
Yeah.
So it was like scary, but like funny at the same time. And then it's hilarious. I found
like
it
Project Mayhem.
Right.
That's our immediate goal.
And then it was hilarious and weird, but like when that guy who's like dressed in a nice suit comes up to Cole and he's like, are you a divergent too? And he like cocks his head onto his shoulder, and then like the camera pans down his nice suit, and then you see these like bunny slippers.
I know.
With like a drawing that it looks like a 5-year-old did, and you're just like,
so weird.
Creepy.
So funny.
I don't remember what scene this was, but I think it's a Gaines quote where he's like, we're consumers, Jim. Yeah, okay. But a lot of stuff, you're a good citizen. But if you don't buy a lot of stuff, if you don't, what are you then? I ask you, what, mentally ill? I can't remember what that is, but I love that quote.
And it's just literally exactly what he talks about in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Like he blows up his condo because he's like, fuck consumerism. You don't need that shit. It's like so funny that it's just, he's like a literal crazier, real version of Tyler Durden.
And then
literally.
What is it? I call it it's just a creepy voice, unless it has a name. But You know how like Cole has like this like voice either in his head
Mhm.
or something like that? But he's like, "Where'd they send you?" And he goes, "1990." He goes, "How was it? Good drugs, lots of pussy."
Oh yeah. It's just like,
So,
no, not where I was.
so I don't know. I mean, like more of that was like more toward the beginning, but like I said earlier, like I like the beginning more because I was engaged a
Yeah,
lot more, and then
it
it kind
has
of
that
like
middle
rolled.
kinda
Yeah.
slow down, yeah.
But what
I
are
think that
yours?
could have been edited. Let's see, my first one was when he's exploring the streets in that suit. It's just cool to see like this post-virus world. It reminds me of Stranger Things
Mhm.
too, a little bit, and like the Upside Down. It just yeah, I just like that whole vibe. I love the suit, like I talked about before, like how they put it on. And I also love that's not I guess this would be a second favorite scene I really like. I didn't write down, but I just thought about it when he goes into time travel before and he gets in that weird bubble and they like shoot him through that like airplane looking
Mhm.
machine, like a engine. Like that was super cool how he was like in that machine. They clipped all that stuff to him, like on his chin and on his like head, and then they like sent him out.
Mhm.
That was really cool. And also it was really cool too. I loved the set where he went to meet with the scientist and then he is in that chair and it like flies
It flies
straight
straight
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like that weird like ball that has all these like TV screens and stuff on it, like playing different things. Like it just reminds me of like some like weird Clockwork Orange, like
Oh, very.
some
Yeah.
like yeah, like weird like sci-fi crazy. I'm gonna review Clockwork Orange with Jai. Heads
Oh,
up, it's like her
nice.
favorite film ever. I know it's not in the '90s, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm willing to give it another chance.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm not a huge Kubrick fan, but yeah, so it reminds me very much of Clockwork Orange. That
It's
part,
I like Clockwork Orange. It's not one of my favorites, but it has a lot of interesting
like elements
themes,
to it,
elements, and
yeah.
things and
And
stuff
Malcolm
like that.
McDowell is really cool. Like
Yeah.
in general, he's just really cool. So I'm kind of stoked. I also had a note about when you meet Jeffrey at the institution at first.
Hmm.
I wrote his speech, obviously, yeah, very Tyler Durden. I wrote he kind of acts like Matthew McConaughey, like a little
Yes.
bit, like really weird and like
Definitely.
fast talking, and like you know how like when you see Matthew McConaughey in real interviews, like he has a very fast talking, like kind of strange approach, almost like he was in Wolf of Wall Street
Hmm.
when he was like talking to Leo and he was like being all weird and like talking fast and using his hands like he it looked like he was kind of channeling McConaughey too. Or I don't even think McConaughey was that big of an actor then. So maybe McConaughey channels this movie.
That's so
I don't
funny.
know.
I did
It's
like
really
that.
funny I noticed that.
I did like that one scene in the theater though. I forgot to mention where they're playing Vertigo in the background,
Oh yeah.
and they're kind of it's toward the end of the movie, but like they kind of dress that way, the same way, like when
Yeah.
the doctor puts on her wig and puts on the coat the same
I
time,
know
you
it's
know.
really cool. Yeah, it's super cool. I want to do like a Hitchcock film just randomly because I mean, there's really good. I don't know if enough people
Do you
care,
is there a certain movie of Hitchcock's that you like or
yeah, I mean, I wanna do Psycho because I've seen it once in for film, like school
oh
class.
Janet Leigh, yeah.
Yeah, so I kinda wanna do like, I don't really remember every point of it now because it was so long ago. I kinda wanna do that because that's like a classic. That's
It's
like
totally a
we should do
classic.
that since we were doing horror
Yeah,
movies.
sure.
We should
I'd
do
love
like
to. Yeah.
Psycho. Yeah, 'cause
Either
it's
that or like maybe even The Birds. The first one.
yeah, I was gonna say I
The
have
original.
oh yeah, I have The Birds. Yeah, I have The Birds on DVD. The
Oh,
one with
nice.
Melanie Griffith's
Yeah,
mom.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying because that shit could just happen. Like,
Oh
we're
god,
just
what was it? Like
literally living our lives like it's not gonna happen, but it could.
there was like a cloud of birds 2 mornings ago, like when Justin and I went on the balcony to have a cigarette, on the deck, I mean, and all of a sudden they're like so low and they just like fly all in unison to the left, and we're like, whoa.
Oh my god, yeah, those weird, like, patterns,
Yeah.
like, those weird flying patterns they have, it's so
Oh
crazy.
god, and then yesterday, it wasn't like birds, but it was like a flock of geese, and they were so ginormous.
Oh,
Like, I was taking boss out yesterday for a walk in the afternoon, and we saw them from afar, and there's seriously like 50 or 60 of them. I'm
oh
like,
my
"Let's
god.
walk the other way."
Damn, yeah, we're literally one stop away from just, like, some kind of mayhem with the bird population that no one can control. Like it's crazy.
Oh my god.
So who knows, man?
But
Yeah. So what are your? Oh, I have two other notes. Well,
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
talked about it. Chris Maloney, who I love from SVU, was in it. I wrote that's so great. And then Matt Ross, who's the guy who's in American Psycho, who's like in the bathroom with Christian Bale. He has
Oh,
the red hair.
uh,
He's also one of the 12 Monkeys crew, which I thought was really cool.
so
Um,
he was at the end, right?
he was like in the middle when they go to like that place that has all the like jungle when you walk in. He's
So
like one of those three people that were there when they were like when Bruce Willis and the doctor came in there
so then
and he
who's the
like was
guy with the red
asking about
hair?
it.
Who's the guy with the red hair at the end?
Okay, that's someone else. That is just the guy who has the virus. It's a different person.
So he's not a creator. He's just
No, he's one of the rebels with Brad Pitt. The guy I'm
see,
talking
that's how I got so lost where I was like, I need explanation.
Yeah, like who is that guy? It's super weird.
Yeah.
And then I also wrote I love the 12 Monkeys bus. I think
Yes,
it's
I did
cool.
too. That
I
was
think it's
fun.
super
Yeah.
cool. And do you have any other scenes? I just have one more.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, my last one I like is I love when all the animals are let out and they're like on the street.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. The elephants on the street. And also I like at the end when they're at the airport and I like when Jose comes up to Cole and like gives him that gun and he's like, you gotta do this, man. Like
Yeah.
you gotta pardon. I love that you see the reflection of Cole in his glasses
Hmm.
at one point and it just looks really cool. But then later on it's like frosted. Like then later on when you see Jose's glasses, they're frosted, like you can't see any reflection. I thought that just looked really cool. And his outfit was cool too, that second one, that last one we saw. Jose's was like kind of it was like really grungy and like weird.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it just looked dirty and like weird. I just liked it. If it's grungy and dirty and weird, I like it.
You like it?
So yeah. Yeah, man. Okay, so do you have any we have like a few minutes left here, but I didn't have anything else planned. But do you have any story questions? Like what do you think the ending was? It was
So
almost like American Psycho. Like what do you think happened?
so obviously so the kid is Bruce Willis,
Mhm.
and he's gonna be
Yeah,
like
and he dreams
scarred for the
about
rest of
this.
his life. Huh?
Yeah, he like constantly dreams about this,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a continued cycle of like this
Yeah.
kid is gonna just have dreams again of
Of
him.
how this happened.
Yeah. The guy, like you just revealed to me, he was just a guy with a virus, right?
Yeah, but he didn't okay, so this is the question I have because I don't really fucking know what happened. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And if people wanna comment, you're
Please.
wrong. Like, this is exactly what happened. Like, I didn't read the Wikipedia thing. I don't wanna be, like, ruined where, like, they just tell me what happens. Like, I'll probably go back and read it now or watch some YouTube video on it. I'm sure there's some YouTube video of, like, what the fuck happened. But it's so weird too because they never caught that guy and they shot Bruce Willis, the fucking virus got out. So it's almost
Well,
like one of those right? Like,
so
but then he was on the phone and then the Jose guy was like, no, the 12 monkeys thing, like, no, the doctors were like, no, it's okay, we got it. Like, you did what you're supposed to do, we got it. I was like, but he still got away, and you saw the guy with the ponytail like walk out of frame, like he didn't shoot the guy, they shot him
right.
first.
No, so that was I was confused. That's why like when these quote unquote I'm just gonna call them quote unquote doctors
Hmm.
told Bruce Willis like he could get off like if he went and stopped. But does that mean like he's supposed to kill him? He's supposed to arrest him? He's supposed to bring him back to the
Yeah,
future?
that's the thing. And
Like
also, he already opened the vial at TSA
right,
and was like, "Oh, look." I was like, "Well, that's patient 0 right fucking there. This guy's got it." And the guy who opened the vial didn't have a mask on, so he
right,
fucking got it, right? Like,
right,
wouldn't he be one of the people to die? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's what I think. It's kind of like it didn't even matter if he went back in time because the shit fucking happened anyway. It's
right.
like always what time travel always is like they try to manipulate time, but things eventually just pan out the way they pan out. Like it still happens anyway. You can't change time.
No, it's true.
Oh, it's boss.
My doggy wants to say hi to everybody.
Oh my god, that's so cute that he like at the end he comes in and he's like, "Roo, roo."
Right.
He probably knows what happened in the end of this movie. He's trying to tell us.
Right. He's like, you assholes didn't get it. I was awake for the whole entire thing. I saw it so many times.
And now he's like playing in the background. Perfect. Well, we've reached the end of our recap here.
No, this was fun. Thank you
This
so
was
much.
super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. First episode of 2021.
Actually, no, wait. Wouldn't Romy be the first episode?
No, I uploaded that on New Year's Eve,
Oh, you
technically.
did.
Yeah, so that's technically not.
Sorry, guys, about my.
No, it's okay. Well, as always, like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.